You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Chisel and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, everybody. Come one, come all to witness me getting absolutely blasted by Lane. That is tough. We have this week me and Jake, as always, and this week we have Nick B. Nick, how's it
Hello.
going, man?
Good. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Heck yeah. Always a pleasure. You know, it's not too often we have somebody from the top half of the league on the show, so.
It has been a while.
Hey, Jake, who did we have on last week? Was it George?
Yeah, it was George.
I'm seeing George lost?
You had the asterisk on it where he wasn't
I did.
from the start. It's true.
Turns out you have to be here for the whole show, otherwise you don't get the good juju.
I think it's like 9. I think it's like 9-2 if we count George, or still like 9-1, something like that.
9-2 because Brandon, I think, was one of them too. I'm pretty sure.
He was definitely the first one. If there was two, then must have been him again. But
yeah, I think it's 2. I am employing some 3D chess though. Nick, you play Lane this next week, and I need him to lose for a chance at the playoffs. So,
Dude, I'm gonna have I got a lot of buys this week. I'm gonna have a tough week.
dude, Lane's team stinks. Oh, jeez. I can't believe you beat me. All right, let's get into some matchups, huh? What do we got here? Let's see. Biggest blowout. Oh, well, that's convenient. Nick, we're starting with your game. You know, we expected Brandon to get absolutely blasted here, but I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect him to put up almost 130.
Yeah, he had a good week.
It's solid. I respect it.
Rashee Rice came in.
The Chiefs guys, really.
Well. Yeah.
Pacheco and Rashee Rice. I think he's going to keep Pacheco, or is my understanding. Chuba Hubbard at 20 points. Pretty late. Drafted 8th round. So, pretty solid value.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
And he's got a good schedule to round off the year, so that'll give him even more juice to keep him. Garrett Wilson had a good week with Tim Boyle. Not that Tim Boyle had a good week, but hey. Tough. I heard he's starting again this week. So,
yeah, that's the plan.
That's interesting. Especially because, hey, did you guys see that Rodgers got activated off of, or designated to return?
21 days, yeah.
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 He said...
I still don't think he plays this year, but...
Yeah, I can't imagine. He did throw out the caveat that it sounds like he's only going to play if, A, he's ready to go, and B, if the Jets are competitive and have a shot at the playoffs. So we'll see if they're going to keep starting our boy. But let's get on your side, Nick. This team is nasty. Holy sh!
It is.
It's not too bad.
How does Devontae feel?
I'm comfortable. The reason I like his matchups in the playoffs, one of the main reasons that I accepted that trade. I'm a little loaded at receiver. I don't need Mike Evans.
True.
And
yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't pumped about the trade, sending Mike Evans away, but it's a risk I was willing to take.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, Devontae, 2 weeks after I traded you, are 2 of his better weeks this year.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Seems like it goes that way. But, I mean, McCaffrey's just a freaking monster. 2 touchdowns again. DJ Moore, stud, even when the Bears stink. I mean, the Bears put up 12 points, no touchdowns, and DJ Moore is still cooking.
I have trouble deciding between Montgomery and Warren every week.
That's fair.
I decided right this week, but
Warren's kind of been cooking lately.
He's awesome. Yeah.
He plays Arizona next week too.
Yep.
Montgomery has the Saints. Give you something to think about. Jeez. Puka's been a little sad lately. Honestly, the Rams have been kind of bad. Cup's
Has
been
been.
bad.
I've been debating pulling him out like every week for Lockett or maybe
Hmm.
even Christian Watson. Now that he is hopefully going to start playing a little better.
Yeah.
Hopefully Green Bay starts playing a little better. Now that they are, but he's been so hot, Puka.
Hmm.
So hope to take him out.
Yeah, it's a bummer he's not keepable because that would be one heck of a
Yeah,
keeper.
definitely.
Jeez, that's really nasty week here. Jake, what do you have to say about this absolute bumming, if I may?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, for the other teams in the bottom of the league, seeing a tanking team like Brandon put up about 130 is wild. And I don't know if he's like
Mhm.
scared of losing out on the first pick or what.
He's
He's gonna
not.
make it. He's not. Okay. Okay. Because I mean that's my first thought is like you don't want to lose out on the first pick, but I mean I respect it. His team's like just popping off at the end. It's Chiefs. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about Nick. We kind of talked about your team all season, like absolutely stacked at
Yep.
receiver. Now Christian Watson, as
Hmm.
a Packer fan, I love that Christian Watson's starting to get better toward the end of the season. From fantasy, I don't think I own him in any leagues, um, but his
I was
target
high on
share.
him. I have him in 3 leagues this year. I was
Oh
really high.
baby.
I think I took him in the fourth in this league.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's high. That is really high.
yeah. That I mean that. Yeah, fourth or fifth, like that's where he was kind of going.
Yeah,
He had what like 5 targets last week. He hasn't had a whole lot of targets, but maybe toward this end stretch, Jordan
yeah,
Love kind of breaks out and uses Watson more. I'm all for it.
yeah. They have a really nice schedule too heading into the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah,
So
they
They
do.
absolutely do.
It's Chiefs
Yeah,
this week, which is tough because the Chiefs defense has been
yeah,
awesome. But then after that, I mean, it's what Giants, Tampa, Carolina. It's like, yeah,
Panthers are in there. Yeah,
Minnesota. Yeah.
uh-huh. That's nice. Bears, I think, are in there. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Uh, I want to take a second before we move on to appreciate just how helpful Lamar Jackson has been in Brandon's tank. That guy stinks in fantasy football. Holy. I mean, he started off the year great, minus his 2 points against
Mhm.
Houston. Mid to upper 20s. Can't argue with that. And then after that, the rails just fall off. I mean, 42 points against Detroit, and that's about it. So Brandon must be very happy right now that he has Lamar Jackson in his team because I have talked to him about his nerves on tanking and all that, and he says, obviously, you want to have the first pick, but he thoroughly enjoys beating people when his team is this stinky because he just likes ruining people's days.
I respect that.
It's
Yeah,
Can't argue with it. And
and I
Charbonnet is
mean,
going to be the starter again this week because Kenneth Walker got ruled out, I think.
Yep.
yeah, and look, and Travis Kelsey with a
Oh,
15, which is like fine enough for a tight end, but he hasn't had a Travis Kelsey game in a while.
true.
But
No, he hasn't.
I know
I
I know.
mean, really, all year he hasn't.
Yeah, it would have been the,
Yeah,
the Chargers
so,
game, and that's kind of it. Couple
Yeah, the
games in
Chargers
there.
game. Yep. Hmm.
I know that was one that I was a couple weeks ago. I was really sent a couple message over to you because it's just one of those things. Like I like Kittle, but being able to just have Kelsey sitting in that starting tight end slot, there's nothing else like it. I have him in like just I think the dynasty league, Bryant's dynasty league. But
Oh, yeah.
even if he's having a down year for his standards going into the playoffs, that's just an added confidence. So I'm scared if we match up seeing Kelsey out there. We'll see.
Definitely.
It's scary. All right, let's move on to wow. You guys are just these two guys just win. Meanwhile, Jake, we're going to your game against George. This must have felt real good because George has owned you for quite some time. And is it 2 wins
Yeah,
against George this year?
yeah, we swept George this year.
That's
You have been doing pretty
massive.
well against me. Like, I'd have to look back at it, but it feels like you beat me like 4 or 5 times in a row.
I believe that
So
it was at least 4, yeah.
yeah,
Which is embarrassing because he had some bad teams in that time.
yeah, you did.
Couple good
He
teams,
made.
couple bad teams.
I was about to say, I think might have been in the top three like once a couple of years ago,
He
but
won the
not
league, I
nothing.
think, a couple years ago.
Was that what? That's probably what I was thinking
Yeah,
of. Yeah, all right. I'll give George some credit there.
yeah.
I lost that year, but yeah, this matchup we kind of talked about when George was on last time that Thursday was going to be huge with the Thanksgiving games, and my Cowboys started off the week strong. Dak absolutely popping off. Like that's still
Tough.
the pickup. I mean, Puka was like a huge pickup, but Dak was also been kind of the pickup of the year for me at quarterback
Yep.
with so many question marks that I had at that position. I mean, Brock Purdy has been good too, but I haven't even thought about starting Purdy in a while. I don't think I'm going to start him until I probably won't even start think about that. Like it's just going to be Dak and CD.
Yeah, rest of the season is
way.
Dak. There's no reason to pivot. He's been a monster. And I just realized this. This must have felt a little extra bad for George because he was the one that absolutely he just cut Dak. And then you picked him up. So that's funny.
Yeah.
right before because Dak was awful to start off the year, right? He was like not even a top 12 quarterback, and so George cut him. And there you go. Rest is history, I guess.
That does make the difference, yeah. And then Jefferson, Yahoo kind of updated, like they had him a couple of times. I don't know if it was just this, maybe the week before, but just they gave him a projection that wasn't 0 just in case he played.
Yeah.
And it ended up not playing, so that was huge for me as well. But sounds like he's going to be back after the bye, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
We will see.
Okay.
If the Vikings keep losing, I wouldn't be surprised if they shut him down.
They're still in it though.
They don't have another.
They don't have.
So they have a bye this week.
They do. Oh, that's true. He'll probably be back then.
He'll come back against the Raiders, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Those are pretty winnable games in the year. Raiders and Cincy. Cincy without Burrow is pretty winnable. Detroit's pretty tough, and then Green Bay might decide a lot.
Green Bay, Detroit in 3 weeks is going to be tough. Yeah,
that is tough.
Both at home though for Minnesota, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that Green Bay game's a night game, huh? Dang, prime time.
I think it's New Year's Eve too.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah, the Packers finish off with the Vikings week 17, Bears week 18, I believe. I want to say.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if we beat the Chiefs this week, I mean the Packers are I'm already saying the Packers are back. We're under 500.
I'm not holding my breath on the Chiefs game, but maybe the rest of the games.
I think I legitimately think it's like I think it's gonna happen now. I do.
I do think Green Bay is gonna make the playoffs. I think
it's very possible.
Yeah.
Seahawks are done for. They're playing terrible.
Problem is, if we make the playoffs, there's a pretty high chance we're playing Detroit, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, Detroit or Philly or San Francisco.
Yeah, fair enough. It's definitely Detroit.
They're not getting all the way up to the 5.
It might be San Francisco in the first game.
Oh, please no.
I think that's the worst matchup it could possibly be.
Could you imagine the narratives if we get KO'd first round by San Fran?
It won't be as bad.
It'll be bad.
We'd be underdogs by far, but
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, let's make the playoffs first. So
oh man. Oh, see. So what do we got here, Jake? We got CD being okay. But I mean they won 45-10. So what do you expect? Dak just cooked.
Jake, your team is nasty, man.
It's so good. Diggs and Eckler. Yeah. Diggs finally bounced back. That's got to feel good.
The first half of the season, it was just Stephon Diggs, Eckler, and Allen, and nobody else that did anything. Even Kittle was nothing. He's not been insane, but he's had some good weeks.
Now that Debo's back,
and then the later on in the season, the Dak pickup, and then there's a couple guys I benched that started doing a bit better, and then we started making the win now moves, which we'll see how it pays off. But I really I wanted to just compete this year, and definitely put myself in a good position to do that.
Yeah.
So I know George listens to the show when we talk about only his team. I kind of don't want him to hear this because I want him to give up, but I still think George is the favorite in my eyes for making that 6th seed for the playoffs. His team
is wild when you think about it.
He's one game back on Lane, but Lane plays Nick this week, and George plays. He plays Lemons. That's a tough matchup. But George's team is clearly the best out of this bottom group that we have here. I mean, A.J. Brown's had a tough stretch here, but, I mean, 14 points against the Bills, and, he's top 3 wide receiver on the year. Quarterback, we'll see. If he gets Jefferson back, he's not going to have him this week, which is really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Zach Moss is going to be the starter, though. I think I heard JT isn't going to play. So.
Yeah, he's out a couple weeks now.
So there's his flex. Oh, I mean, yeah, he's got a legit shot. If he can beat Lemons, he'll make the playoffs. So hopefully he doesn't hear that and he just gives up and hates his team.
All right, Nick, what are your thoughts on this trade that George made? I don't know if you saw that one or not from last week, but it was with A.J. Brown. Did you see that one? Or?
Yeah, who was it for?
Cooper Kupp.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull up what the actual trade was.
George
I
gave up
think I got it in a
Cup
second.
and a first and Logan Thomas for A.J. Brown and a third, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you got a third back?
Yep.
Okay.
Cade was the
I mean,
was the number one seed at the time as well.
Yes, he was. Not anymore.
I mean, it just depends. Is Cup like how much is Cup playing the rest of the year?
Even if he does play, he's been shit. He hasn't scored over
Yeah.
like 10
Yeah.
points in like 8 weeks.
Yeah, you got to think though, because now that the Rams are gunning for the wild card, you'd hope Cup would pick it up a little bit here.
Yeah, Cup's only had more than 10 points, more than 7 points twice this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely potential for Cup there, but me and Bryant were really on the side of this doesn't make sense from Cade
Yeah.
being like in first place at the time.
And now he's got
It's more of like
Cleveland,
a-
Baltimore.
Looking toward next year move. That's what we thought, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll talk about it in Cade's matchup, but we'll talk about that trade a little more. But yeah, I mean, George won out in my opinion, on that trade, at least so far. You know, I mean, it looks like A.J. Brown's been dealing with a thigh injury, but I'm sure that he'll be playing through that. The Dallas defense kicked some butt. Yeah, this is a tough beat for George, honestly. Adam Thielen really let him down because Tennessee.
Yeah, if he gets decent games from Tua and Thielen, I mean,
It's a
he's right
win.
in it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, every team's been able to throw on Tennessee this year, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know, Adam Thielen gets 1 catch for 2 yards, and then Tua
Right.
struggles, and I mean, they beat the Jets. Who had all the touchdowns in that game? Mostert, I think he had 2. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, off game from Tua, unfortunate, but he does that. And yeah, Adam Thielen, man, that's a tough beat. Wonder how
Yeah, my
interested he
team-
is in Jared Goff going forward.
True. Yeah, I was about to say this. It's not like my team necessarily popped off at all. I mean, Dak did, but the rest were
Yeah.
kind of at their projections. The running backs actually underperformed.
Mhm.
So I still don't understand the Chargers at all because every season I get super high on them. Like in fantasy, it makes sense, but they're just struggling right now. Like
I don't
I don't know what to
understand.
say.
Yeah.
Staley might be the worst coach in the league.
Yeah, he might be out of a
Yeah.
job soon.
He's gonna be.
Jeez. All right, let's hop over to who's the next on the list. It's probably it looks like it's Lemons and Manthai. All right, Lemons beat up on Preston. Preston's team stinks. I mean, there's not much else to say, I guess. A.J. Dillon had an okay game. He used the guy. He's questionable. It sounds like he might not play.
Preston might have one of the worst fantasy football teams of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And he beat Jake.
He did. He did beat me. That's true.
Yeah, he has Sam Laporta to look forward to. I'm sure he'll be a keeper because the rest of this team is
Yeah.
pretty abysmal.
Mhm.
And there's not much else to say about it. So his
Yeah,
starting tight end and his backup tight end were the 2 top scoring players on his team. If you take away the defense with 24 points, oh Jesus, that's disgusting. He started
He
Geno
just
against San Fran.
Yeah, he had Josh Dobbs before that, and this squad definitely looks significantly worse.
No
not having CD Lamb on it anymore. So
That's true.
he's happy about next year, but yeah, this was one. He had Aaron Jones and Nick Chubb, right? Did you have Nick Chubb? I thought.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, his
he
team
has
is full
Chubb,
Chubb.
Oh yeah, full Chubb. Yeah. I don't even see him in the.
He's on the IR.
Did
Yeah,
he draft? Did he draft Downs or was that a pickup?
I'm sure that was he was picked up.
Yeah.
He's not keepable.
Yep,
That's unfortunate.
that is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean his team stinks. Next up, Lemons. Mahomes did okay. Mahomes hasn't really been Mahomes this year, and I think a lot of that's because of the defense of the Chiefs shutting everybody down. They don't need to score. I mean, they scored 31 points to be fair, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to throw the ball all over the place.
They went up 14-0, and went down 14-0, and they kind of seem to get their
That's
shit
true.
together a little bit.
Hey, maybe the Packers will do that. That'd be kind of fun.
It would be.
Tyreek Hill had a good game. He's cooking. Mara continues to catch a ton of passes and just be good. Mostert, solid. Kincaid, good. Yeah, I mean, disappointing from Saquon. It's okay from Godwin.
I mean, yeah, the Giants being terrible is a real bummer for Saquon. He still put
It
up a
is.
couple good games.
Yeah, I mean, the
But-
Patriots defense isn't that good, so it's tough to see that. But they had 30 points last week, so, hit or miss. Curse of a bad team. Looks like he's got a couple open roster spots, so I wonder if Lemons making some pickups. But yeah, I mean, Lemons' team is all right. It has the potential to really boom, but it can do stuff like this where it puts up 126 and loses to half the league.
Yeah, I mean, with Mostert, Barkley, Hill, and Mahomes, he could put up 200 in a
Oh,
given
yeah.
week.
Yep.
All right, let's head on over to what do we got here? 20 points. I guess it's my turn. This was a disappointing one for me. I came into Monday Night Football needing 30 points for my quarterback, and holy crap, does Josh Dobbs stink. Manti fleeced me on that trade, dude. I traded for Josh Dobbs hoping it was Fields'
Probably
first
not gonna
week
be a
back.
starter anymore.
Oh my god, dude, he's bad. He's so bad. He had 2 or 3 weeks back to back with like 20 plus for the I think it was 2 weeks for the Vikings and then one for Arizona.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, this guy can at least, even if he stinks in the NFL, he can at least get me like 60 rush yards or something, and he'll be okay for fantasy. Right? He's basically a Justin Fields B while Fields comes back from injury. And so I make that trade. I didn't give up much. It was like, I don't remember, like a 12th round pick or something like that, but I got like a 14th or 15th in return, so it's like whatever. But yeah, I mean, jeez, man, Josh, he had 4 picks. He had -4 points for most of that game. Thankfully, he threw that touchdown late in the game to give me positive points. But at that point, I didn't care. I just wanted the Vikings to lose so we could make the playoffs. It was tough. And then I look at Fields on my bench. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even mad because if Fields would have popped off, I would have been ticked because if I would have won,
he only scored 3 more points.
yeah, it's like they both stunk. It's like, come on, man, that game was brutal. But Fields is in my lineup rest of the season. I'm probably gonna cut Dobbs. He stinks, and I feel sad. Mike Evans is good though, so that's cool. Olave concussed, but had a good game. Henry cooking in the winter. Man, I wish I had a quarterback because honestly, I kind of wish I had C.J. Stroud. I traded Stroud, I think, to Greg, and if I would have had Stroud, I would have won this game.
Man.
He had a big week, I think, didn't he? Pretty sure he had a good week. I keep tabs on him because I had him in Dynasty too, and I traded him. So it's like, dang, he's kind of my boy. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
He had 34.
Yeah, he would have won me my week. Yep. Pain. So the rest of the team was great. The bench, solid. Zay Flowers, good week. Gabe Davis had one of those weeks, and yeah, I mean, I was totally happy with almost everyone on my team except for the freaking quarterback. Feels bad. Lane's team. I mean, freaking, he had one heck of a Thanksgiving, and that was kind of it. I mean, Debo, Tony Pollard, and I think Smith was that a Thanksgiving game? Billy Buffalo? No, that was a primetime game.
Amon-Ra was too.
Oh yeah, Amon-Ra. Yeah, that's who it was. He had those 3 guys. Amon-Ra, Debo, and Pollard both put up like 20 points. I'm like, oh jeez. And then I had like Olave and Henry and Tank Dell. I'm like, all right, okay, we're in this game. Yeah. Psych. Freaking Devonta Smith. Smith had like 4 points, and then he caught like one big drive, 26 points. What the heck?
Lane losing Taylor for the rest of the year is pretty brutal.
That is tough. Yeah, he might be done for the year with that thumb injury, which is kind of strange. But considering he like played through it, yeah. Are they going to? I've heard that they might. I haven't heard if they're going to for sure. Oh yeah.
I was reading today that it's looking like they will. Yeah.
Yep. I guess he's getting surgery on it. So. Dang, that stinks. Well, George can fire up his Zach Moss and be happy about that, I guess. Dang. I tried to trade for JT, too. Tough. T-Law had 29 points. What are the odds T-Law gets to start this next week, Jake? Against the Bengals? Herbert's got New England.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a real possibility here. He's trying to stay in the play. He's at the 6th seed right now, right?
Yeah, he's in the playoff spot, yes. If the season ended this week, Lane would go.
Just fire up T-Law. Trust.
In Jags, we trust. Honestly,
losing. You gotta trust him.
Mark Andrews and JT in these past couple weeks has been pretty tough for Lane. His roster wasn't that strong beforehand, and now it's gonna be tough sledding. Najee's the only other running back on his roster. Thankfully, Najee's been doing better.
He has been playing well.
Arizona this next week. Yeah, you can start Najee with confidence, I think. Or as much confidence as you can normally start him in. Yeah, I mean, hey, I guess you win some and you lose some. I'm still in the hunt, but man, would this have been a big win for me. Oh, pain. All right, matchup of the week. Get that taste out of my mouth. We got Greg and Cade. Yeah, there's Stroud, 34 points. Screw that guy. He's good. Stroud versus Josh Allen. This is a big win for Greg. Really big win. Man. Gibbs, meh. Swift, meh. Hawkinson, Kyron Williams, welcome back, baby. Jeez, right? First week off injury. Turns out Arizona's run defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, man. 41 points.
Chase over Ridley is interesting.
It is interesting.
We made fun of Greg too much for benching Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he can't do it. Yeah. We scarred him. We broke Greg. Oh, jeez. Yeah, and honestly, Chase had 12. Did you see some of the catches Chase had in that game? It was kind of ridiculous. He had at least two of them where they were like tipped and he just kind of stumbles into it and hey, take it. So half of his catches were kind of fluky. But I guess it gets the job done. Cade's team had a really good week too. If I'm Cade, I'm really bummed out about this.
Yeah, definitely.
Ramondre, Bijan, Waddle. Josh Allen on Monday night. Yes, please. Mm-hmm. That was Monday. Oh, sorry, Sunday night.
Sunday, yeah.
45 points, man. Ooh. If Cooper Kupp didn't stink. You know what's funny is Cade actually wins this game if he doesn't make that trade with George. A.J. Brown doesn't get him there alone, but he also cut Pat Freiermuth to make room for Logan Thomas, and Freiermuth had like 20 points.
Yeah, he had a day.
So, something to think about. I don't know if Freiermuth would have made it in his lineup, but I'm going to say he did because that's tough. Yeah. Detroit defense stunk too, but hey, what can you do, I guess?
Yeah, putting up a goose egg is tough.
Yeah.
Nobody would have guessed that. Yeah.
No sacks, nothing.
That one.
Yeah, that's true. I would have been totally fine starting. Honestly, though, the Detroit defense has been struggling a little bit more this year because they've had some big injuries on the defensive side. They started off pretty solid, but this past handful of weeks, they've been rough.
No pass rush at all.
Yeah.
This week.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Doesn't
be a
sound
downfall
like
in the playoffs.
True. It doesn't feel like a team run by Dan Campbell. That's all I'm saying. So, I don't know. Big win from Greg and Cade. Tough L, I guess. A couple games out of your guys that didn't perform would have done it, but I don't know. It's not like there was anybody on his bench that really could have taken over and won in that game. He started probably the perfect lineup.
Yeah, he definitely did.
So, can't win them all, I guess. Let's check the league standings. So I think we have a bunch of teams. Yeah, so everybody's clinched except for that 6th spot. So Jake, Nick, Lemons, Greg, and Cade are guaranteed playoffs. They got to figure out seeding. There's a lot of, what do we have? 2 weeks left? 1 week left? 1 week left. Okay. So Jake, you can't fall past the 4 hole. But if you lose...
We should have 2 weeks left before playoffs.
I see 1.
So your turn, sir.
Oh, sorry, 2. You're right. 2.
Yep.
Yeah. 2 weeks left. Oh, so this is anyone's game then. Oh. Shoot. Cade could be the 1 seed by the end of this if he wanted to. Nick, you got to win a game, dude. If you're not the 1 seed, I'll be disappointed in you.
Yeah, when you're outscoring everybody by 200 points.
1805.
I was about to say, it looks bad because I just fell short of making it to 1600, and he just made it to 1800. So it could have been at least like 1600 to like a high 1700. But
it is visually unappealing. Yes.
I'm feeling a lot of pressure to win out the rest of the way.
5-game win streak.
I might not, if I lose 1 of 2, I might not even get a first round bye with how close this race is for the top 2.
That's tough. The bye is important.
The bye isn't fun though, Jake. You want to play fantasy football. You don't want to watch people play
the old rust versus rust in fantasy
football. Hey, if you get that bye week, you got to rest your guys so they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So fighting for that 6th spot is I mean, anybody, technically. I mean, except for Brandon, I guess. Brandon, unless he scores an absolute butt ton of points and wins both of his games and Lane loses out, and he needs some help, but technically he's still in it. Oh, jeez. And then there's George, myself, and Manthai still in the hunt. Manthai sold his team. He's done. Brandon's realistically done. So it's really just me, Lane, and George. Lane's got that extra win. That's big for him. This week was a big week. Shoot. But George's team is probably the best out of everybody's. We'll see how that goes. I'm probably not making it, but you never know. I think I have Manthai and I have George week 14. Oh. That'll be a big one. That might decide playoffs. We'll see. Let's do players of the week. Josh Allen for Cade, 45.66. Big week. There were some big weeks in a couple positions this week. Kyron Williams, 41.4. There were a lot of quarterbacks, a couple running backs that were up there. Tough week for wide receivers. Tyreek Hill led the pack with 28.4. He was on Lemons' team. Pat Freiermuth, 24 points, also on Lemons' team. Picked up from the waiver wire. Kudos.
Good pickup.
Blake Groupie. I think I'm saying that right. I don't even know who that guy is. He's a free agent. He had 19. He's the kicker. Is he the Detroit guy? Who is that?
Oh, it's Patterson. Is that Patterson?
Oh, you're right. That is Patterson. Who's Blake Groupie? New Orleans. There you go. And he's questionable. Dealing with an undisclosed injury. Oh. He's a baby boy. He must be a rookie. Defense, 24 points, Miami for Manthai. Hey, Manthai's been on the list this past few weeks, man. He's been cooking. Let's go. Let's check the transactions quick. I don't think there were too many. Now that the trade deadline's passed, it's pretty quiet. Head back a little bit. So we had, before the week, Josh Downs got picked up. Dameon Pierce got cut. I guess that's kind of interesting. Khalil Herbert got picked up. I cut Josh Dobbs, picked up Derek Carr because Josh Dobbs stinks. Jordan Love got picked up by Brandon. Tampa got picked up. I think Brandon said if J-Lo cooks, there's an opportunity for him to keep Jordan Love. So I think, Jake, if I remember correctly, you drafted him pretty late. I want to say like 14th or 15th round.
Yeah, I drafted him as my Aaron Rodgers backup.
15th round?
Funny enough.
That is funny.
Around then. Probably 13, 14.
Yeah, 13. I just fact-checked. Antonio Gibson got picked up. Chris Boswell, Jets defense, Atlanta. Oh, there's Freiermuth. Oh, so Cade just picked up Freiermuth in this waiver round. Oh, sorry, Lemons. Lemons picked up Freiermuth. Khalil Herbert got cut again. Yeah, I mean, he's the starter, but.
Well, against the Vikings, Johnson, I think.
Pretty
significant more amount of touches.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know if they're easing him back or if they just like it was Roschon Johnson, I think it is.
Yeah, Roschon, yeah.
And the Bears are on bye this week, so I guess I wouldn't be mad about that. Their schedule's pretty tough. They have Detroit and Cleveland next, and they have Arizona week 16, so maybe that's sneaky for a playoff team.
Could be.
What if you're a playoff team and you're starting Khalil Herbert, who probably just came off 2 back-to-back weeks?
Yeah.
It would probably be the 6th seed, so watch out for me to pick him up.
Right.
Speaking of Riley Patterson, he got picked up, and Tucker Kraft got picked up by Brandon. He was not drafted, so not sure what's going on there, but I guess he's the starter in Green Bay, so maybe. All right, let's do some matchup previews. I've got Manthai. I guess I can throw my quarterback in quick so we can get a legit reading on this. We're sending in the car this week. Derek Carr is my guy. Oop, don't press that button. Jeez. Save changes. All right. So I'm projected to beat Manthai, not by much, because my team is kind of ass. Although if Mike Evans only scores 12 points against the Panthers, I will be disappointed.
That'll be a bummer.
It would be. Although apparently Carolina's 29th best against wide receivers because nobody throws against them. So, hey, you never know, I guess.
Right.
Maybe Rashad White's just going to cook. Definitely starting him. Yeah, I mean, Tank Dell, Derrick Henry, Jake Ferguson. Probably start Singletary because they play Denver. But Denver's defense has been pretty good. My team got hit pretty hard with buys this week. So I'm assuming Olave isn't going to play with the concussion. If he does play, I'll throw him in and probably bench Singletary.
He practiced, didn't he, today?
Limited, yeah, which
he
is
did.
actually a pretty good
Yeah.
sign. Limited on Wednesdays is
Yep.
usually a good sign. Okay. Yeah, I hope he plays because he's been on fire. Yeah, that'd be big for me. Yeah, Manti, I mean, he's got Geno against Dallas, which is a terrible matchup on Thursday night. Ayuk against Philly is a pretty tough matchup. Drake London against the Jets is a tough matchup. Tajay Spears against the Colts. Oh, he's going to outscore Derrick Henry, isn't he? A.J. Dillon, home against the Chiefs. He's banged up. Probably going to be a game time decision. I'm expecting him to play. I'm hoping the Packers are just resting him. Because if A.J. Dillon legit can't go, the Packers are going to have no run game. They're going to be rocking, what is it, like Emmanuel Wilson and some practice squad guys. Patrick Taylor, and maybe even James Robinson, because I think we picked him up again on the practice squad.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Sam Laporta is probably the scariest player on Manti's team, and he plays the Saints, which is a pretty tough matchup. I don't know how they are for tight ends. Looks like they're pretty middle of the pack for tight ends, but I don't know. He'll probably get his, 10 to 15 points. But hopefully that's about it for Preston. So I'm legally obligated to take myself in this win, and if I lose, this is going to be really embarrassing.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Who do you guys got?
Taking you as well.
All right.
I got you as well. Yes.
That instills me with a lot of confidence. Let's go. Next matchup, we got Brandon and Cade. You'd really think Brandon would get slapped in this game, but Cade, I don't know if he hasn't checked his lineup or what, but he has Josh Allen on bye, which really hurts because how's Kyler been? Oh, he's been okay. Pittsburgh's a tough matchup though.
Pittsburgh's tough though, yeah.
Kupp is Cleveland. Oh, jeez, I would not be wanting to start him. Oh, but can you start Metcalf in Dallas? What's a better start? Maybe Metcalf.
That's tough.
Dang, that is tough.
Probably Kupp still.
Is it just Christian Kirk?
I wouldn't hate Kirk.
Oh shoot! What would you do, Jake?
It's tough to put. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably take a long time to figure it out and then just go with Kupp, honestly.
Yeah, it's hard to go away from your guys.
I don't hate Pickens either if you want to do Pickens against Arizona.
I think personally I would do Kirk over Pickens, but I respect going up against Arizona.
I would too.
I think Pittsburgh might be running the ball quite a bit against that really awful run defense, and I don't know. But Pickens is. If you told me Pickens or Kupp who scores more points this week, I think I'd lean Pickens. So.
Consider Higgins if he plays.
Maybe. If he's active, you kind of have with no Joe Burrow.
I wouldn't.
I know.
I don't think
hamstring first week back. I think I'd rather start Kupp. Personally,
it's just me. I know that the Chiefs aren't a great match for us, but that under 13 seems a little bit rough by Yahoo on his Jordan Love's projection for Brandon.
That is a tough projection, but honestly, I understand. But I mean, it's not like the Chiefs are that much harder of a matchup than Pittsburgh was in Pittsburgh, and he put up 20 points against Pittsburgh, so he's been cooking lately. Hopefully, if the Chiefs defense is legit, though, I kind of understand. But 13, you're right, that is pretty bad. This is gonna be a tough one. Garrett Wilson coming off a good game. Jonathan Mingo.
Never fun having to start Jonathan Mingo.
He stinks. Oh man. Isaiah Pacheco's been good though, and Green Bay gives it up to the running back usually.
Yeah.
Achane should play this week, and I think he was a game time decision last week, so you'd hope that he'd be active this week. How confident are you in starting him and hoping he doesn't get injured or gets more than 3 touches? Yeah. I'd rather start Charbonnet. Dallas, maybe not. Kind of have to start Achane, don't you?
You're Brandon, you're 10th place.
Yeah.
Put Achane in there just to
rip it.
That's gonna scare Cade a little bit more.
You're right.
Just put Achane in there.
Achane could legit win Brandon this game, and Charbonnet can't do that. Not against Dallas. I respect that. Tucker Kraft in there at tight end because Likely's on bye. Kind of a bummer for Brandon. Likely would have been a good one. But Kraft had a good week last week. Maybe. Rashee Rice, Pearson, Tampa. Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, you kind of have to pick Cade, right? I mean, Brandon's starting Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, is he going to... I mean, he'll probably start Judy if Judy plays, though, right? I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Houston. Yeah, you can throw in Houston. Honestly, I'd start JSN over Mingo, but at the same time, how much does Brandon want to
I
win
would
versus how much
too.
does he want to tank?
Right.
Oh shoot! And you could even make an argument to flex in Chuba after a 20-point game, but Tampa's a pretty tough matchup too. Yeah,
Yeah, Tampa's rough.
you're probably right. I think if Judy plays, I think he's probably the best start.
Mingo's probably the worst out of the three.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If they all three of them play, yeah.
But if you're lucky, he'll put up 10 points. I don't know. I mean, I'm picking Cade here, but I think this could be a trap game.
I'm going Cade too.
He's got some tough matchups. Bijan in New York.
Part of me wanted to take Brandon, but I'm taking Cade.
Yeah, it's a respect thing.
Stevenson
Also,
should have a solid day.
Yeah.
With the Chargers.
Also, Cade's a 69% favorite, so I mean, you gotta give some respect where it's due. Oh, next up, Jake and Greg. Oh, this is a blockbuster matchup. This is a big game for you, Jake.
It is a huge game.
CJ Stroud plays Denver. Denver's defense has been stepping up, but you can still throw in Denver. Jamar Chase. Oof. I mean, Dak against Seattle.
By the way, it's another Thursday game for the Cowboys.
It is. Yeah, they get a full week of rest.
That,
I believe Seahawks too, though, right? Didn't they play 49ers on Thanksgiving?
Yep.
Yeah, they got dismantled.
They both had a week of rest. This is Jake to me, and it's not particularly close.
No, you can't say that.
Kyren Williams he looks awesome when he's playing, at least for fantasy. He's got Cleveland this week.
He does. That's tough.
It's really tough.
Would you guys start Ridley or Chase? Because I think I would start Ridley.
If I'm Greg, oh man, you can't bench Kyren Williams no matter how scared you are of Cleveland. But you can bench DeAndre Swift, and I think I would start both Chase and Calvin Ridley and bench Swift. Mostly because if I'm Greg and I bench Jamar Chase and he has points above 10.
Teams have been able to run on San Francisco though. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah, but how many carries does Swift usually get? Pretty good amount. 12 to 14 last couple weeks. Yeah. That's true. We'll see. I don't know. I think horse of peace, I guess.
I'm not going to give any advice to Greg.
He should start Kenneth Walker, right, Jake?
Yeah, I think Amari Cooper. It's a great week to throw Amari Cooper out there, Greg.
Yeah,
I have to start him in one.
I think I would start Chase and Ridley.
It's a matter of principle at this point to keep Chase, because you're probably right. Chase might be the worst start of that group, but
yeah,
if Greg benches Chase and then Chase has a good week, I mean,
it goes off. Yeah.
What do we have to kick Greg out of the league for intentional egregious tanking if he does that at 8-4? Oh man, Hawkinson's on bye though. That's good timing for you.
Yeah. Much.
Any feeling of getting Hollywood Brown in there instead of Javonte Williams?
I don't. Honestly, I wasn't thinking about Hollywood Brown, although he did. I think he did decent recently.
Yeah, he had 14 points last week.
I was thinking about if I do, it's probably going to be Javonte, but
part of me,
if Jaden Reed's looking healthy, part of me just wants to fire up Jaden Reed on Sunday night.
I respect that.
I was going to ask about that.
Chiefs is a tough matchup though, man.
It could be just a Packer fan in me, but
it is.
Jaden Reed looks so nice.
It is definitely the Packer fan in you.
It's absolutely the Packer fan in me.
Pause on that though.
Maybe just no, I'm not gonna do that. This is my 1 week, by the way. If I want to start Jameson Williams, this is the only chance of the entire season. I'm not gonna do it probably because I really want to win this one, but you never know. Jameson Williams, 1 catch is all it takes. Too fast.
That guy stinks at football, dude. He's not.
Yeah, I'm not a Jameson Williams guy.
He's playing better. He's playing better now. He's improving.
Oh wow, is he getting 2 catches a game now? Oh, he is. I was joking.
Let's go.
4 games in a row of 2 catches. He's cooking, baby.
That's progress.
Wow, he's actually automatic. He's guaranteed 2 catches. If there's a Jameson Williams money line bet for 2 receptions or more,
1.5.
you smash that. If it, yeah, his over under is gonna be like 2.5, and you just gotta buy that reception down, and it's a lock. Out of every game he's started this year, apart from one when he was goosed on 6 targets. Tough game. Any
This looks like
inkling?
it's gonna be my lineup.
Is there any % chance that Greg throws in
Unlimited.
Jake?
I don't think so.
You cut out. Throws
Oh,
in
did I?
who? Throws in who?
Unlimited.
Russell Wilson.
Oh, Wilson. I didn't hear that.
Oh,
No way.
I've been pressing the button, but
Broncos
this guy
are
doesn't have
playing
audio.
better.
This guy doesn't have his sound on. Yeah, there's no way. You bench Stroud. I just want to press the button. Oh, yeah. I'm giving this one to you, Jake.
Me too.
Boom. It's decided.
I'll take it.
Jake loses.
I need it. That's tough.
All right. Second to last, we got Lemons and George. Another pretty good matchup. Big one for George. Mahomes against Green Bay, Tyreek against Washington, Godwin against Carolina, Mara against Detroit, Ford against the Rams. These are pretty good matchups. He's starting Taysom Hill this week. Ooh, you're not playing against me, Lemons. What's going on? Honestly, he did pick up Freiermuth. Do you think he starts Freiermuth over Taysom?
He should. I don't know though.
He totally might. I mean, you pick him up for a reason, right? If you're gonna start Taysom Hill, why pick up Pat Freiermuth?
Right.
Because otherwise, he's starting Kincaid every week. Because Kincaid's been pretty solid.
Yep.
He's just on bye. Yeah, he must be starting Freiermuth, which I feel a lot more confident in if I'm Lemons. Mostert,
Me too.
Washington, good matchup. Yeah, Lemons got some pretty solid matchups. I don't know how Mahomes is going to do against Green Bay. He hasn't been that great, and Green Bay's been honestly pretty solid against quarterbacks this year, even though we have no DBs, so riddle me that, I guess. Valentine, baby. George has Tua, so I guess on the plus side for George, if Tyreek has a big week, at least Tua should be pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Brown against San Fran is a pretty tough matchup, but you go with your guy.
Questionable too.
Yeah, he's been dealing with that thigh injury. Yahoo makes it sound like he's been dealing with it for a week or two, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, he was limited on today, and he hasn't practiced the last few Wednesdays at all. So
yeah, I'm guessing he'll be okay. He's got Hopkins in there for now. Tough bye week hit from George, so Hopkins will probably stay in there, unless he benches Thielen and throws in Gibson. That Thielen's been disappointing last week, but I think you kind of have to shake it off, right? Only had 3 targets though, and Frank Reich got fired. Did Frank Reich get fired after or before that game? After. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happens with the new going back to the. So I imagine they'll go back to the OC that took over for Reich for a couple weeks. He was okay.
Yeah.
That was after the bye. You probably keep rolling with Thielen, right? You can throw on Tampa. He'll probably be fine.
Yeah, last week is kind of 3 targets for Thielen is kind of an anomaly.
It is. So it's probably fine. Pittsburgh defense against Arizona, Dallas defense against Seattle. Honestly, probably Pittsburgh, huh?
Yeah, definitely Pittsburgh.
Dallas has been clamping people.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, Bland could take one of the house any play. That's what's tough.
It is very tough, and Pittsburgh could turn the ball over 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. What are you doing there, Jake? Are you starting Pittsburgh or are you starting Dallas?
I'm starting Dallas. Yeah. I don't really think about it, honestly.
I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, this matchup, I guess once you throw in Freiermuth, then Lemons takes the lead here. But
pretty dead even.
I think it's got to be Lemons. I think it's got to be Lemons here.
Yeah. I understand that. Can people run on Tennessee?
Moss?
Not really. Zach Moss will be fine, though. Zach Moss was electric when JT was out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I mean, he's probably going to get 25 touches, so.
Yeah, I'd pencil Zach Moss in for 18+.
Mm-hmm.
But Thielen's a wild card. He could have 20 points. He could have 2.
Right.
Brown, tough matchup. Hopkins is a wild card. A lot of wild cards. Georgia's team could have a great week, but it could also put up 95 points.
Right.
I'm going Lemons. I like his matchups better, but it's close. Very close.
I'll go George. I'll go
I respect
opposite.
that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And Jake, you said you had Lemons?
I do. Yep.
Now we're talking. All right, we'll see on that one. Last one. We got Nick, you and LK. The big
Yeah, I got
matchup
a
for
tough-
Lane. Oh, man.
Tough bye week this week.
Very. Jalen Hurts is playing, but San Fran. McCaffrey will score 20 points regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Lockett against Dallas is a tough matchup. Yeah, Montgomery against
so
the
is Watson
Saints.
against KC.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, you really did need to get Nick on the pod this week, Brian.
Yeah, that's huge for me. Yep, this is massive.
Tough week. Not as bad as the week when I played you, Nick. You had a worse bye week.
I need the podcast
week,
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need it too.
Jalen Warren. I mean, Kelsey's going to eat up Green Bay, right? We don't have anybody that can cover him. Like, not a single player.
Hopefully. He's my best option this week.
Maybe Quay Walker can, but I don't know. Quay Walker's... I don't know if I'd call him a coverage maestro. Oh, that defense is on bye, though.
Yep, I got to pick up a D.
That's tough.
I submitted a claim, I think. I must not have done it.
Oh, must not have, because I think waivers ran through.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota's got a pretty good matchup next week. You know, for as stinky as they have been the past few weeks, their defense has still been putting up points, so
yeah,
probably worth hanging on to. Buffalo's defense has really tough playoff schedule.
Yeah, that's who I'm dropping.
Chiefs, Dallas, Chargers. I mean, week 17 they got Patriots, which is cupcake if you can manage to hold them through it. But yeah. That's tough. Dang. I'm legally obligated to pick Nick B because I need him to win. And when he throws a defense in there, he will be projected to win slightly. But this is a tough one.
Yeah,
Najee versus
he's got
Warren.
Najee. Yeah, 2 Pittsburgh backs.
Yeah. Be huge if Warren steals all those touchdowns.
Seattle. Yeah.
Pollard's been disappointing, but this past couple weeks I think he's been better, hasn't he? I think he had like 20 points against me and 18 the week before. Seattle's another good matchup. Dang. This is going to be a good one.
A tough week for me. Yeah.
I do not know who I'm picking here. It's a good matchup.
Herbert
I think I'm
Patriots.
going with Lane.
Oh, what's picking against himself? That's it. What do we got, Jake?
Is
it Dalton Schultz or is it Travis Kelce?
It's like
he's starting the Niners defense.
Having a good team like Nick. Okay, the projection isn't high this week, but with having
those
a guy
players.
like McCaffrey, like those 20-point projections, it's always like it seems like it'd be tough to consistently hit that, but they do anyway. You got 33 last week.
How confident are you in the San Fran defense in Philly
against Philly? Moderately.
They haven't really played any like super high powered offense this year. They played Dallas and they played the Rams, right? Those are the two quote unquote bad matchups for defenses. They gave up points to the Rams and they clamped the Cowboys. Yeah, defense. I think they had a defensive touchdown in that game. 4 sacks. Never mind, 4 sacks, 3 picks, and a touchdown.
They destroyed the Cowboys.
They had no touchdowns. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so
that was when Dak got dropped.
Other than that,
around that.
they've given up points.
I saw them taking Nick.
Yeah, let's do it. Dang, that's tough stuff. No JT for Lane.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'd rather. My nightmare situation is losing one of two, not getting a first round bye, and then not being able to say I swept George, like losing in the 3-6 match. That's my nightmare situation, and I can kind of see it starting to develop. I just got to win out. It can't happen then.
Okay, let's get into George's favorite part of the show. I wonder if he listens to the ends now that he knows what I do. Let's do the roast. All right, since the last week, we're only doing losers because it's just easier that way for me. And honestly, when Brandon and Manthai keep losing, it gets harder and harder to roast them because they're just bad. Let's start with Brandon. Okay. What can I get on him? Next week, he's got Cade. All right, we can get Jonathan Mingo. Brandon, having Jonathan Mingo in your lineup is like eating gas station sushi. It's never a good idea, and you will pay for it later.
Boom. Roasted.
All right, Manthai. I play Manthai this week. Let's go. Manthai, you better be passing that phone to Julia so that she can set your lineup again before I take your sorry-ass roster out to pasture, because this 4-8 team is about to be 4-9, and that's just a dead team.
Boom. Roasted.
Okay. I think Cade lost last week. Yeah. All right, let's get Cade. Let's see. Cade, you would have won this week if you hadn't have gotten fleeced by a guy that doesn't watch football.
Boom. Roasted.
Also a shot at George. Oh, speaking of George, let's get him next. Ooh, that's not George, that's Lane. Her Lemons has George's face. His picture gets me every time.
Yeah.
Let's see. George, you're out here looking like Greg with some of these moves on your team, man. Your bench continues to outscore your starters. You might have to take a page out of Preston's book and pass the lineup to your new daddy, Jake.
Boom.
Ooh.
Roasted.
How does that feel, Jake, to be George's daddy?
It's been a
Can we
while,
call
yeah.
you that after winning two games in a row
Let's-
against him after he put up like 4 in a row on you?
Yeah, like I said, I gotta make sure I don't play him yet this season before I can. Yeah,
At the very least, George is no longer
season's not
your
over.
daddy. Season
That
is
is
not
true.
over.
but no, currently yes. But I mean, if we match up in the playoffs, like I don't want to.
George ain't making the playoffs. Come on. It's going to be me, Jake. I'm coming for you. Whoa.
Rally.
Whoa. Pause on that.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, that does it for the roasts, gentlemen. What do we got? Good luck to everybody not named Manthai, Greg, and Lane. Yeah, especially those Lane and Manthai guys. Those guys. And we'll throw George in there, too. I want George to lose. So, go Mike. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Good show. Nick, always a pleasure. Jake?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, there were
thanks
some
for
good
coming on,
takes.
Nick.
Excellent takes. Big fan. Maybe we'll see you again in the playoffs.
Love to be here.
Holding up the trophy or something. Ooh,
Ooh.
Jake's going to have something to say about that. Hey, if you guys match up for the championship game, that's definitely a thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, we gotta get everybody on. Anybody that's in the championship for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Hope you all have a good week. And see you next time.